Welcome to this week's question. Why don't companies focus on customers? Now, this question was prompted by Laura Mason's LinkedIn comment where she comes across this problem with her customers every day. Here is Laura from an interview we did last year talking about the things that her customers keep missing.
The physical posters definitely had three equal number one priorities, and one of them was customer. And when I asked what sits underneath that, what's the strategy, what's the plan, nothing. They get it. They get that what the customer's experiencing is actually quite a lead indicator for a whole lot of their other metrics and other objectives. So there's this mismatch between organizational structures and leaders and KPIs and customers who just simply want a job done, who simply want to complete a task. I've never met a customer experience improvement initiative that doesn't have a positive financial outcome, because bad customer experience costs.
Thank you, Laura. Now, if you want to see the full interview, it's available on our YouTube channel, Unlocking Change. Why companies don't focus on customers? Well, the three main reasons are they're internally misaligned to their customers. This leads to mission statements that go missing, especially as you go down the organization. And they're not taking advantage of the data and algorithms that could build trust with customers. Let's explain. Here again is our alignment diagram from the Signal Road team. And here we draw vertically the components of an organization, their products, their services, their processes. Cutting across this at right angles are what the customers want as outcomes, the customer experiences. We can add to this the default organization structure we discussed last week. This leads to the annual top-down budgets. It leads to pushing KPIs down the organization. Problems emerge. We now have dependencies across departments. We have internal conflict and we have slow decision making. What we end up with is what Laura Mason talks about. We have a mismatch between the organization structures and their KPIs and customers who simply want the job done. This leads to our next problem. Our mission statements go missing. Now, our mission statements are something like, we create offerings our customers value. You can put in your own words there. We create X that our customers value. But the reality of our operating structure and processes means the mission statement gets lost as we go down the organization and push down all of these KPIs. We end up with KPIs like this, which are internally focused. The poor customer experience is now going across all of these departments. And if we were to ever measure the end-to-end experience, and that's a big if, the question would be, who's responsible to fixing the end-to-end experience? Because something that is owned by everyone is owned by no one. The last point is companies are not taking advantage of data and algorithms to add value to their customers, which builds trust. Let me first ask you a question. Do you want companies collecting more of your data? The world has exploded with the collection of our data and the use of algorithms. AI is taking this to the stratosphere. Again, using our alignment diagrams, companies have a choice. Do they use data and algorithms to sell more stuff, or do they instead use it to add value to customers and build trust? But again, do we trust companies with our data? We can think of many, many ways companies could use our data to add value and build trust, but this might also mean they're also showing us how we could save money. This would reduce their revenue in the short term. So we need to believe that adding value, building trust will lead to more revenue in the medium and long term. By the way, it does. It does in repeat sales, customer referrals, or even product feedback. We can see the use of data and algorithms every day. The classic is Amazon with recommendations for us. Now, what I'd really like to do is tailor those recommendations, fine-tune them to better suit what I'm looking for. And you can kind of do that on Amazon, but it's clunky and it's all over their website. They know how to do this. They could actually make that very easy for all of us to tailor those recommendations and create value for us. The next one's Spotify. Now, I love Spotify's Discover Weekly showing me what tunes to listen to. But lately it's got a bit flaky. I actually use a different website called Obscurify Music, which tells me of my listening habits. And here it shows me that I have a wider song choice than the majority. The Chi-Squared distribution shows that there's a whole group of people who just listen to the same songs over and over. Does Spotify recognize that I actually have a different listening habit? And because of that, are they using that for Discover Weekly? It doesn't seem so. The final one is LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn can show us our social selling index. But I use LinkedIn to connect with like-minded people, to share ideas. I don't use it to sell stuff. So is there an index for that? Companies have the choice. They can use the data and algorithms to sell us more stuff, or they can use it to add value and build trust. However, because of the misalignment that we talked about before, because of those internal KPIs that come into play and the pressure to deliver on those, you can see that use of adding value to customers slowly fading into the distance. All right, let's recap. Why don't companies focus on customers? 3 main reasons. Internally, they are misaligned to their customers. This leads to their mission statement getting lost and turning into internal KPIs as they go down the organization. And they are not taking advantage of data and algorithms to add value to customers, to build trust. Okay, we hope you found that interesting. You can find more of our research on our YouTube channel, Unlocking Change. You can see the entire interview with Laura Mason on the YouTube channel. And thanks for joining us. We hope to see you next week.